Good afternoon, good Sunday morning, or whatever day it is that you're watching this. This is Omnibroslive with the 2019 Omnis, where we pick our best and favorite books, writers, collected edition, artists, everything. We give you what's on our mind completely and totally. And right now, we will have a full crew, but not all of them wear watches anymore. So right now it's just me and Lou from Comics Guide 101.
Hey, Jess, how's it going?
Everything all right?
Yeah. Just hold on one second. Let me get this. Hold on. Whoop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, everything's good.
You see our logo?
Wait, let me see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We upgraded the StreamYard. Yeah, we are official now.
Yeah, we have our own logo, and we can choose backgrounds. And I mean, I could do a scroll that says 2019 Omnis, but it might be distracting.
Oh man, you know what? We need? We need award music. I got it.
Oh, that is so perfect.
Welcome to the 84th annual Omnis with special guest presenter Tom King. Oh, we couldn't get Tom King. Okay.
There's the other Ryley, not hacker Ryley, but this Ryley.
With Ryley Moore.
So am I the OG or?
It's the OG crew right now. We're waiting for the three interlopers.
I've had an identity crisis for the past week.
Because you're hacking?
Yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore.
You're you.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
At least as far as we know. Maybe this is a Russian bot. We don't know.
Yeah, right.
Hey, deep fakes are really good these days. Maybe it's just a deep fake.
That'd be something Ryley would do.
I got an update from
what happened?
Oh, we lost them.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You got an update?
Okay, so I have an update email from YouTube just saying they're still in contact with the team working on my case. Stay tuned. They'll be sending updates time to time, making sure case will be resolved soon. They'll start back when they have something to share. So basically, they're just like, we didn't forget about you. It's
still that's good.
Oh,
here is a week in geekdom.
Oh,
what up, dude?
What's up, Gio?
Hola.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No,
I can barely hear you.
Barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Whoa.
No. Testing. Can you hear us, Gio? Are you working on your sound?
Can you hear me now?
No, very little. Okay, he'll be back when he gets it figured out.
It would not be an Omnibros Live without technical problems.
I'm glad I didn't cause them. Okay, wait. Here he is again. Let us see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Now we can hear you. Nope, now we can't hear you. What did you do?
Maybe it's your mic, Gio.
Yeah, it's the microphone. I'll trash it later.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yep.
There we go. And we're just waiting for, we're waiting for two more. We're waiting for Omar and we're waiting for Gabe. Unless you guys just want to go in and get started.
No, I think we should wait for him. While we wait, I have two things to announce. The first thing is a shout out to Kemi Jacob. He asked me not to divulge what it was that he did for me. He did something so awesome for me. This is above and beyond as far as Omnis go and comic book transactions. He went above and beyond what anybody else would do. This guy is such a decent guy, such a nice, generous guy, that what he did, he deserves the Golden Hickman Award for greatest of the year. That was such a great thing that he did for me. I can't go into specifics because we agreed it'd be better not to, but I got to tell you, he did me the most solid of all OmniBros solids. And Kemi, thank you so much. I wanted everybody to know just how cool Kemi really is. It was just an amazing gesture he made to me. So thank you, Kemi.
So you're getting that life-size statue then?
That's exactly what I was thinking. And Kenny's going to officiate the wedding.
And we can talk about InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts at 2%, but until today's Sunday, the 29th, till the 31st, Tuesday at midnight, they have 3% off with the Omnibroslive code, which I'm going to type into the chat right now in case people haven't heard about it. Whoops, I should put IST code. IST code. It's the year-end sale, and you get 3% off. It does not stack, but it's an extra percentage off, and it's
Gotta let Omar in.
sorry, the untimely Omar. How's it going, buddy?
It's going okay. It's going okay. How's everybody doing? We got a full house today, right?
Yeah, the new upgrade was supposed to give a notice when people were trying to get in.
That was my notice. I went on the chat to let you know.
I saw
Because apparently, messaging you through Facebook does not work.
no, I'm not. I tune out of Facebook when I do the show.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, so I'm right in the middle of my IST where you can get 3% off for the OmniBros code that I just typed in there. It's right below where Near Mint Condition is yelling at me. So you can see it right there in the chat. So please feel free to go ahead and use it at InStockTrades.com, where you can get free shipping with orders over $50 or more in the United States. Unbelievably great customer service and fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. And we are now full. This is as much as the stream can take. 6 people.
Oh, this stream's a horror. It could take a whole lot more than 6.
All right, take it easy.
Okay. What's up, everybody? What's going on?
We are ready to go. We're just waiting for the other two, and we've got lots to talk about. And Lou, what do you want to start with?
Well, I mean, let's just kind of start things off. For those of you that don't know, this is the Omnis. We do this every year, and basically this is the year-end wrap-up for comics. We did the year-end wrap-up for TVs, movies, and video games the other day, and today we're just doing the best of comics of 2019, and we've divvied them up into a bunch of different categories. The final, we always do, the last one is always best collected edition, but we have best collected edition, best comic, worst comic, aka the Golden Kirkman, best writer, best artist, favorite superhero comic, favorite indie comic, favorite manga, biggest comic moment of the year.
Favorite manga? Who put that stupid comment thing in there?
I think it was like all 5 of us.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's me against everyone now. Whoa, Mac Haven Comics, $15.
Whoa. Whoa.
Thank you.
Nice.
That
Thank
pays,
you, man.
that pays for a month of StreamYard. So thank you
Thank you, man.
very much.
We now have overhead, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm sorry, Sherry. I don't have a tuxedo. It actually needs to be taken in. It's too big on me. So
Nice.
I need to get it fixed. Otherwise, I definitely probably wouldn't be wearing it anyway. But thank you for your question.
Thank you. And to favorite comic movie, favorite comic TV show, and favorite comic movie moment of the year. I've scaled back the categories this year because last year it was just way too much. so we have less categories this year, and we just kind of rolled some things into one. We'll see how it goes this year. We might even scale back more next year. But let's just kind of kick things off with let's go with our biggest comic moment of the year. And right off the bat for me, I'm going to say it was the huge reveal of Moira McTaggart and Hoxpox, the revelation of what her past. By the way, we're going to try and shy away from spoilers as much as possible, but stuff might just happen out there. Hoxpox, the revelation of Moira McTaggart, and what exactly ended up happening, and the fact that she's had a long-standing past with the X-Men that nobody even knew about, and Hickman retconned a whole bunch of stuff and made it work, and it was actually really fucking cool, and it was really impressive. And I think everybody was talking leading up to the Hickman X-Men event. Everybody was talking about the hype going into the summer of it, and in the middle of the summer we get that issue dropped on us, and I don't think anybody expected something like that to come out of that book. So that's my choice for biggest comic moment of the year. Anybody else want to go next?
I don't actually have mine written. I sent them to you.
I told you.
You don't memorize them?
No. Okay, wait. You sent it to me again. You sent it back?
No, you should have it in the sent file.
In the sent folder.
The sent folder?
Yeah.
On Google hard drive or something?
Jesus Christ. How do you always play IT? We got to end the year playing IT to Jess.
What the hell? Maybe it's in... I don't remember what I sent you.
Oh, man. I agree with Luis. That was my favorite moment this year of any comic book. I don't think I was blown away by anything near that. That was so awesome. Such a cool retcon that actually worked. So I agree. Moira McTaggart in House and Powers of X.
That's a good pick. Mine's X-Men related as well, but it's not Moira McTaggart, even though that is one of the best moments for sure. I agree. That moment made Moira McTaggart cool, and that's one of the most impossible things I never thought could ever occur, is to make that character cool. But mine is also X-Men related and a character being cool, and that's the return of Maggot in Uncanny X-Men.
Hey, it's his choice. It's his choice, man. I don't even know
what ever happened. It was the return of all these characters that we haven't seen, like Krillin and all these just crazy characters to show up at the end of Matthew Rosenberg's storyline. Unfortunately, it all kind of went away, and it kind of got wrapped up into that whole Nate Gray being like this Messiah weird thing going on. I all got wrapped up with that Age of X-Men. But my favorite character of all time has returned, and I had to stay loyal and honest. Maggot coming back. Forget Moira McTaggart. It's Maggot McTaggart.
Nice.
Yes.
Let me one up you. And my favorite moment, also X related, was Gold Balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
The redemption of Gold Balls.
What?
Gold Balls became relevant this year.
Gold Balls was
Gold Balls.
awesome this year.
Hardcore relevant. Like the entire idea of I think Riley's frozen. Oh no, the entire basis of this new additive that Jonathan Hickman did to the X-Men is based around Gold Balls.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We don't need eggs. We don't need eggs. If Gold Ball would get a bullet to the head, they would still be okay with just 4 of those people.
Yeah, because they can bring him back. Duh.
No one's bringing back Gold Balls unless Bendis comes back and writes X-Men.
Man, he is important.
I love that you get this character that's been since his inception ridiculed, useless.
That's what you get for talking about fucking Gold Balls.
He's a useless character, and all of a sudden Hickman's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a purpose, and he, like Gabe said, becomes one of the most integral pieces of what Hickman does. I don't give 2 shits about Gold Balls myself. I just think it's hilarious, and I thought it would be funny if I said Gold Balls is the best moment because of Omar's reaction.
Because I stopped your internet from working. You knew that was going to happen.
I think Ryley and I had the same idea to fuck with Omar.
We haven't done a show together in a long time.
I think most of my answers are meant to fuck with someone.
Luis, do you have my answers?
Are we still going on about that?
Yeah, because I just looked on the Google Docs and I didn't see it. There's
Hold on. I'm sure I've got them. Give me a second.
Can we answer for Jess?
no.
Because I can
don't
guarantee
like
you
I don't even
that
like that you're on this show, so I don't know who you answer.
Batman. You don't have a choice anymore. Batman Damned. Top 10 moments in Jess's comic book reading.
Yeah.
History. Bar none. Best moment of the year. Batman Damned. The whole Harley Quinn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we try to prepare for this like professionals, and it's still off the rails 5 minutes into the show.
I like that we're coming up with Jess's answers. That's probably my favorite thing that we've had to do.
Well, I think
Best moment of 2019.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I sent mine to Luis and then just thought he was going to congregate him. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Death of Pharaoh Lad, best moment of 2019.
I didn't. That's not what I said.
You can't prove it different because you don't have your paper.
I know. I know.
Luis has it. He says it was Pharaoh Lad.
67.
No. Jess said for biggest. This is actually true. For biggest comic moment of 2019, he said they all sucked. So there you go.
That's how
That
it
is
felt.
true.
What? Do you even read comics?
There was nothing great. It all sucked. I didn't think there was any great comic moments.
This doesn't sound like you. You're the happy, optimistic one of the group that loves everything.
That's true.
Well, my other choices are all very happy and optimistic. It was just this one.
You didn't have a single moment that made you go, "Oh man, that's so cool! I'm happy I read comic books."
Yeah, when you were in my basement with me, fucking around with me that night when we
That
did
was the Archie-
Omnibus Live.
Wait, you better rephrase that. There ain't no fucking around in no one's basement.
Crazy.
Word it a little bit differently.
That was my least favorite moment of 2019. Do we have
rating-
least favorite moments?
The ratings were off the roof, man. The ratings were off the roof.
Yeah.
Did everybody answer? I don't think Gio answered. What was your favorite moment, Gio?
I didn't have a lot of favorite moments, but if I were to choose something, it would be DC finally putting out the Absolute Swamp Thing after being canceled, like 3 times, and finally going like, hey, here's your stupid Absolute. Enjoy it.
Guess
thought that
what?
was
It's
hilarious.
recolored.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And the binding sucks.
Oh, thank you, Worlds of Ink. He figured it out for me. Thank you, buddy. I got it.
What did you figure out?
That's
He-
exactly what we told you to do. Go to Gmail,
Yeah.
go to send.
No, that's not what you told me to do. You told me to go to Google Docs, and Google Docs hasn't been updated since August or something. So
I think we all said go to your email and go to send. But you know what,
Yeah.
man? You hear what you want to do. That's cool.
there's a buzzing in this network. It's right below me.
Hey, now that we pay for this stream here, I think you have options to just burn Omar through the internet.
How does that work? There's videos of me out there already. It can't be worse than that.
It's by hepatitis.
They make shots for that.
That's true.
It's very true. Let's just go to the next one.
Okay.
Favorite indie comic.
Favorite indie comic.
Okay.
Yeah. Favorite independent comic. I went with Gideon Falls. Jeff Lemire for me. It continues to be just outstanding. One of the best writers in the game, if not up there as the best. Gideon Falls this year continued to up the ante, and it took some really weird twists and turns that I personally did not see coming when this book first started. It continues to subvert my expectations, and it continues to be really great. Lemire's writing is as sharp as ever, and it introduces new concepts this past year, and I can't praise it enough, honestly. And the art is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous art. Yeah, Gideon Falls for me just knocks it out of the park month in and month out. Every single time that a new issue comes out of Gideon Falls, I immediately that's the first thing I read, hands down. I can't put it down, and I adore it. I think it's one of the best books on the stands right now.
Let me ask just a general question. Do we really consider Image an indie comic producer still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's my answer. Then I may change my answer completely.
They're just a publisher that you can go out and get your stuff published from. Like, you still have to do it and, like, actually make the product. But
Yeah.
instead of, and they get a percentage, right? But it's not as much as like say Marvel or DC that owns the rights to everything.
Mhm.
So okay, so we can okay. Well, then my answer is going to change because
Oh.
No
What did you-
changes.
What was your first answer? What'd you put?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I thought IDW was more independent. I mean, I can stick with that. It was my favorite indie comic. I loved reading. I've read 3 volumes of it with Tyler Blunt, and we're going to keep doing that and doing shows on it. And it was a big surprise to me how much I enjoyed it, knowing absolutely nothing about the Turtles going into it. I think it's fun and I enjoy it. So it's compelling enough for me to keep going through the series. And I'm not going to be collecting mutant. I mean, I'm not going to be collecting turtle action figures necessarily.
Yet.
That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Give it
Um,
time.
It'll be
Have you
Ninja
seen the-
Turtle
That's a
variants
mistake.
pretty
Have you
soon,
seen
too.
the Batman Ninja Turtle toys though? Those are pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
oh, I haven't.
No, those they come
They
in
look-
box sets. Like
Mhm.
you get Batman and Leo, you get Shredder, and was it Joker or somebody? You get all they come in different box sets. Oh, they're awesome. And
Okay,
How
I'm
about the
getting-
one where it's Mikey dressed as Batman?
yeah, there's exclusives, right?
Yeah, that was near Comic Con exclusive.
Yeah, something like that.
From San Diego, I think. Maybe.
They were saying,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
you would
I'll
like
get
you would
those.
like those, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just go ahead and buy Power Ranger toys too while you're at it. I'm going ahead
Get
just
the-
telling you to do that because you're gonna enjoy that
Yeah.
book and you're gonna get the toys. You're gonna be all about Lord Dracon and who's the Pink
He'll be
Ranger.
buying some One Piece stuff pretty soon too.
No, you'll see my answer for favorite manga.
Oh my god!
Mm.
Interesting.
I would if you sent it to the Google Drive.
I went to Google Docs and I accessed it and there's nothing there. So that we must have extra special Google Docs that I don't have access to, except
Oh.
the one with the addresses and everything. And this one doesn't have it.
No, just leave that alone. You're gonna end up breaking something.
Well, because that's important stuff, so that you can send us things. That's why you have access to that,
Yeah. All right. We'll deal with it.
like our bank accounts and our Social Security numbers.
Gio, what was your favorite indie comic this year, buddy?
I went with something a little bit more recent simply because of how bonkers it is. I went with TKO's Pound for Pound. I really like that story. Crazy balls to the wall action. And I had a genuinely fun time reading the craziness in that story.
Good choice. Good choice.
Mine was it was a tough choice because it was either These Savage Shores, but I think I'm gonna go with Bitter Root. I think Louise's read Bitter Root is fucking awesome, dude.
Great
It's like 1920s Harlem, and it's about a group of it's a black family that's fighting vampires and werewolves and demons and trying to stop the apocalypse. And the way it's drawn, it really reminds me of an anime. But you don't really see a lot of settings in 20s Harlem with the whole that Renaissance age. Man, it's so good, so well written, and so well drawn. If y'all haven't read it, man, get that first trade paperback. It is fucking awesome.
And that's by whom?
It's published by Image.
Okay. I'll get it on Hoopla.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah, I agree. Bitterroot is really an underappreciated gem right now that a lot of people are not reading that they should be. It just got auctioned off. It's going to be a film. I think a Legendary's doing it.
It's an animated film or
No,
live
live
action? It would
live
work so much better because all I keep seeing is anime. Just
Yeah,
the way that it's drawn and the way, man, it's so good.
Yeah, same. But it's fantastic. I agree with Omar on this one. It's up there for me. If Gideon Falls wasn't as strong as it was, I probably would have given it the Bitterroot as well. It's great. It's great stuff. Ryley, what do you got?
Originally, I was going to choose Power Rangers because I think that the with what's his name, Ryan Parrott or whatever, taking over on both series, it's been really fantastic, and he's pulling a lot of really cool things into the series mythology post Shattered Grid. But then I realized, I don't really want to use a franchise series for an indie comic choice because that's kind of bonkers. So I went with Murder Falcon for this year's Indie Book of the Year. From me, I think it's just, we talked about it on the show when we reviewed it. It's a very good, concise series with fantastic artwork, emotional story, great characters. and it's also I love that it's done in one book. It's available readily for cheap, so it's something that is easy for me to recommend to a lot of people, knowing that it's not something that's going to break the bank or be difficult for someone to find.
Nice.
Very
Good
good.
choice. Yeah, Murder Falcon is a book that I'm pretty sure is going to pop up a few more times during this episode as well.
Maybe.
What is
Maybe.
Gabe's favorite? What independent book, or is it are you waiting for manga?
No, I don't have any manga related stuff on this year because I haven't read any new manga. All the manga I've been reading is like I'm catching up to stuff that's 30 years old, like One Piece and stuff like that. My favorite indie book is Middle West by Scotty Young
Right.
and Jorge Corona. So it's a beautifully drawn. I don't know who this Jorge Corona guy is, where he came from, where Scotty Young found him, but he is definitely just a monster of an artist that I don't know how he stayed so unknown for so long. The story is fantastic about the young boy who has to deal with tornadoes in his area, and the tornadoes actually mean something different. I don't want to really get into spoilers or anything like that, but if you read the book, you know what I mean. This is also Scotty Young's, I think, his big breakout book, where I am seeing him in a different light than just being, baby cover Marvel artist. Him as a writer it's his new thing. He is definitely come to terms with being a fantastic writer, and it's really showing with the way he's laying out the storyline, what he's building up in the future with this series as well. It's changing Scotty Young. It's making him a better creator. It's my favorite indie book. It's a great title. I think there's one trade out, so there's not a lot out there.
There's two.
Two just came out last week.
Okay, so yeah. So then that's the one for me then.
Good choice. That is a great.
I was going to go with Die. Or I'm sorry, just Die. Because that's another great, fantastic one. But there's just something about Middle West that really blows everything out the water.
Yeah, Middle West is a good choice.
Yeah.
That was in my top 5 reads this year.
Absolutely, me too.
Who hasn't gone?
Gio?
No, Gio picked TKO book.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
I think everybody went. All right.
Yep.
Moving along, let's go with favorite superhero comic this year. I'm gonna go with My Hero Academia. Most of you, I'm pretty sure none of you here are current on it as like a weekly reader. You guys are in for a treat once you get to there and once you pick up those volumes that I'm at right now. This year, Horikoshi just continued to crush it. Absolutely crush it, week in and week out, creating and expanding just the universe and introducing more characters and fleshing out more backstories and really just solidifying his place as one of the best, in my opinion, mangaka that are around right now. The guy is just on another level in terms of storytelling for superheroes for me. Like he for me is telling the best superhero comics that I've read in easily like the past 10 years. Where I'm kind of bored with a lot of the stuff that the big two are doing. He is really introducing a lot of cool new concepts into the world. He's fleshing out one particular villain that we got the backstory for one particular villain this past year, and the revelation of
Is it Stain you're talking about?
No, it's not Stain. And we find out so much of what that character went through as a child and his upbringing. I don't want to give it away. And then we're introduced to a new villain, Redestro, and how he plays into what's going on right now in the current story. It's fantastic, honestly. It's so good, and for me, he's putting most Western writers to absolute shame in terms of writing superhero comics, and it's like by a country mile for me.
Dude, I've been watching the anime. I'm like, God, like episode 40 in the season 2. It is amazing. I can't wait to read the manga. I am going to go back and read the manga because I think I get more out of reading something like that.
Yeah.
But everything you said, man, I 100% agree. I don't know what the new villain is that you're talking about or the backstory. I got an idea.
Yeah.
But I'm at the part with Stain, and that's one of the coolest villains I've ever come across has been Stain. The way that in the anime, at least, the way they're fleshing out everybody's backstory, man, I agree. It's something that nobody else can do in Western comics.
The inspiration is clearly there, because he even says he gets his inspiration from Western comics, from mostly like classic Spider-Man stories and stuff like that. You see that stuff. You see his inspiration there. But for me, it's more the world building that he's doing, because what started out as a story mainly focusing on Deku and Midoriya, he has gone so far beyond that, especially recently in the anime, where they just revealed in the anime the like backstory of Red Riot and how he got character development and how he evolved, and he is branching out so much more than just Midoriya, and that to me is the most impressive thing. He spent half the year just on the villains alone. There was an arc on the villains alone this entire year, and it was incredible. To the point where I didn't even miss the heroes. I wanted more from the villains.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm into it. I can't. I'm getting ready for that series more and more. I love it so much. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Who wants to go?
Go.
Well, this is easy. You all, the five of you already know what I'm going to talk about. Of course, my favorite superhero comic is and will always be Aquaman, and I stand by that, because I think that Kelly Sue DeConnick has been doing great on the title, introducing a lot of mythological elements to her run and bringing back older characters, and it's just a really nice step up to what was done before, and I think it's easily one of my favorite runs of Aquaman in a long time. I really enjoy it, and I love the first book, and I cannot wait to continue reading that story.
Awesome. There's nothing better than when somebody like yourself who has a favorite character that's always kind of ran through the mud getting spotlights in a good series.
Yeah,
especially from Luis's favorite writer.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with House of X and Powers of 10. Like, that was by far my favorite superhero comic this year. It made me love X-Men again. It was wonderful, and to read it weekly, it felt good reading an X-Men comic again every week. Like, I hadn't felt like that in probably a decade. When was Joss Whedon's run? Like, nothing has ever gotten me this excited over X-Men in a long time. So, Jonathan Hickman's. Now, the ongoing series are hit and miss, and I don't want to spoil too much, but some of them have been pretty miss, and some of them have been pretty good. It's a lot of interesting twists and turns that they're doing. But it's a whole new age of X-Men, so it feels good to be an X-Men fanatic again.
Nice.
I'll just jump in with mine and just
as Omar.
100%. Hoxpox is the greatest thing to come out this year, superhero related. It changed X-Men for the better. I can't remember the last time that people have want to sit down and talk about X-Men on a weekly basis, like Omar was saying. Omar, Fariha, there's so many people out there stepping into the world of YouTube and doing like a weekly discussion and dissecting that book issue by issue by issue by issue. It changed X-Men. It added. That was something that Hickman was talking about. He didn't want to take anything away. He added stuff to it in order to make these storylines matter and create something that made the dots connect. And it's just something unimaginable to make X-Men this good again after, I don't know, since, like Omar said, like since Josh Whedon, since Grant Morrison, X-Men hasn't been such a hot topic since then. So, X-Men it was.
I'm with both of you
Ryley?
guys. Yeah, I'm with you guys. That it was difficult for me to decide exactly which superhero comic, because there was a lot of really, really strong ones this year that really just but when it came down to it, if I was to focus on one thing, superhero had to be House and Powers of X, just because Hickman's doing such interesting things, and I appreciate how he's the X-Men's past. He's acknowledging past runs, he's acknowledging past storylines, and he's bringing all these characters in that I really appreciate, because I feel like any fan should be satisfied in one way or another, because their characters, their team, their storyline is getting that spotlight here. So I'm really excited, just knowing the way that Hickman writes his stories. I'm excited to see where everything goes from here, where his X-Men series and all the different tie-ins and secondary titles go from this point forward. I know that they've got a lot of big things planned coming out, but I do think that this is going to be a big, like a huge event going, like it's basically going to be like his Avengers was for the Marvel Universe as an entirety. It's going to be the same thing just for the entire X-Men line, and where we're going to get huge changes, huge revelations, huge storylines leading into really exciting things. And I'm pumped to find out where it goes, and I'm pumped to find out what original ideas and characters he goes forward with.
And I will choose Spider-Man Life Story.
Nice.
I felt this was because I haven't read Hoxpox yet. It's on my, it's coming soon, but first, the art's by Mark Bagley. It's amazing. This takes Spider-Man from the beginning and ages him up and shows what happens, all the major events in his life. It works into this book seamlessly and organically. It doesn't feel forced at all. I felt like he made Spider-Man more relatable and included, Miles Morales and everybody else in it. And then all these characters, I mean, it was really, for such a thin book, it really covered everything that's happened to Spider-Man. And when you think about everything that's happened to Spider-Man, all the major events, it's amazing that he got it all into this book, made it so emotional and heartfelt and interesting that this is my book, Spider-Man Life Story.
It was an amazing read. Like, my wife and I read it, and she grew up a Spider-Man fan, and I've read Spider-Man for decades. And what's so cool about it is that you could be somebody that knows Spider-Man from the movies and barely knows anything that happened in the comics and really enjoy it, or you could be somebody that really knows everything about Spider-Man, and he throws so much in there. Like, there's mashup. Have you all read it besides Jess? I'm not going to spoil it, but the cool thing is, like, all the mashups that he does of different storylines together, and you're like, oh dude, that's so awesome, because that's when the issue came out. Like, and then you start remembering, like, oh, I remember that happened during the time that the Venom saga was going on, so of course this character has to step in. Oh, it was so good, so damn good. Good choice.
The only thing problem that I had with that comic, and I might have said this in our chat when it was coming out,
over the expel button on you right now, so be careful,
is that I had a very, very similar idea for a Spider-Man story. And now if I ever decide to put it to paper, it's just going to come off as me copying that.
Just pull what's it called? A Smallville, right? Like, the original idea for Smallville was a young Bruce Wayne. So instead of a young Spider-Man, make it a young Matt Murdock. There you go. There you go, Matt.
It wouldn't work if I changed the character.
Damn it, we're going to make it work.
I'd have to outline it. I think it might be different enough that it could still work. I'd have to outline it and show you guys, like, the idea, because that's like the bulk of the story would be what Life Story is, and then there's framework around it that makes it something different. I'd have to tell you guys, but yeah, that was the only thing when I was reading, and I was like, God damn it.
I feel the same way about X-Men Grand Design. Like when
Yeah.
X-Men Grand Design issue 1 came out, that's exactly what I said. I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to like this shit. Because that was my idea 10 years ago, motherfucker. But I
But
ended up loving
did it end? Did he end it the way that you were gonna end yours?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would have
Yeah.
put Extreme in there. Adam X, baby. Adam X.
Yeah, dude, he stopped right at the 90s stuff.
Where's the love for Adam X, man? But yeah,
Yeah, we got no maggot in it.
I'm going to be writing a Wolverine life story. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. Kind of like what most
I mean,
writers
that's
do
kinda
with
how they've been
Wolverine's past.
You're
Anyway.
welcome to writing comics. Yeah.
What's next? Did everybody answer? Right? Academia, Aquaman,
So
House of X, House of X, House of X, and Life Story. Good choices. I was going to throw Immortal Hulk. I see a lot of people throwing Immortal Hulk
Yeah.
out there in the chat. That was a great read, too.
it was great.
I need to catch up with that. I'm like 4 issues behind. I fell off it.
Stay tuned because I may
for-
or may not have that.
Okay.
For let's go with the next category. We'll break it up a little bit. Let's go with favorite comic TV show, which really it should be no surprise to almost everybody here what most of us are going to pick. Jess and I, Watchmen, right?
Good choice.
Watchmen all the way. As a matter of fact, I think Watchmen may be one of the best things I've ever seen on television. Yes, I've been watching television since Test Patterns went on at midnight and the Star Spangled Banner. So this was a remarkable achievement of television.
Yeah, Watchmen was
Better than the moon landing.
it. Going into it, everybody was saying, "Can they do Watchmen? Why are they doing a Watchmen story and all this other stuff?" And it's amazing. There's nothing else to really be said about it. Me, Jess, and Taylor. I always forget.
Brown, yeah.
Jess and Taylor Brown. We did an hour and a half long spoiler discussion on it, and
Wow.
I honestly think we could have probably gone for another hour and a half if we really wanted to.
Each episode, you could do an hour on
Yeah.
breaking it down.
Yeah.
There's so much, man. I love that series. It was so good, and I didn't. That was another one. Like Luis said, I didn't want to like it. I was like, "Fuck this, man! Why are we trying to do Watchmen? Leave it alone." I feel like Alan Moore some days. Like I wrote the goddamn thing, but I love that they don't even give him credit. It's like co-created by Dave Gibbons, and that's it. Because Alan Moore's like, "Fuck it." You don't even want to check. Who doesn't want to check, man?
And if you ever want to find out who the closet racists are in your Facebook group, just post it.
Wow.
They'll show up without question.
Yeah. Luis had it out with one.
That was stupid.
It was also my choice for this year's best TV show. And to be fair, it's not like I watched a ton of comic book shows, but it's hard for me to imagine anything else making me feel the way this one did. Because like Omar said, I did not want to like this. And I went into it just because a couple of y'all were watching the episodes and talking about it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it out. But for all intents and purposes, I'm sitting there like, this should be shit. This should be absolutely awful. There's no reason this should work. But it did. It worked amazingly from start to finish. I absolutely adored every episode, and I loved the finale. And I thought it did so well to add to the mythology of the existing story while not taking anything away, while not lessening the effect of the original story or anything.
Mhm.
And it also feels like something that if you don't want it, then you can take it or leave it. Like it's not affecting anything. It's not going to affect your enjoyment of the franchise. It's weird calling Watchmen a franchise, but it's great. I highly recommend it. If you have doubts about it, check it out, watch it. I guarantee, like, most people that have doubts are going to end up like myself and wind up, swallowing their words and realizing how great it is.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from that show is it wasn't until episode 6 that I realized it was national treasure Louis Gossett Jr. as the old black man on that show.
What?
I
Really?
didn't know it was him. I was like, I couldn't tell. I was like, that's Iron Eagle, Enemy Mine, Louis Gossett Jr.
Iron Eagle.
Son of a bitch. Hey, Iron Eagle
Back.
was so much better than Top Gun. Come at me. Anyway,
I agree.
Man, let's not be offensive to
Enemy Mine was awesome.
Thank you. It was, right? They created their own language long before Middle Earth. Nope, that's wrong. Never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever. I stick by my guns. Anybody else like Watchmen? Because I have a different one.
I didn't watch a lot, so I'll go with Watchmen.
Okay. I'm going to go with Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol was amazing. Like, Watchmen came close. So did The Boys. But Doom Patrol was so damn good. It was like taking a Grant Morrison comic book and make it come alive. It was the best thing to come out of that DC app. And I hate saying that because I was looking forward to Young Justice Season 3. But Doom Patrol was fun. It was heartbreaking. It was perfect, man. Just every episode. Like, it was like reading a damn Grant Morrison comic. And the casting was solid. Like, the girl that plays Crazy Jane. Oh, it was so good. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know if they'll do a season 2 or not, but go buy a Blu-ray. It's
you should buy.
Fucking amazing.
Buy
It looks
fucking
like
amazing.
Season 2 is supposed to be next year on HBO Max.
Yeah.
It gave us back Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
He was taken away from us. Poor George of the Jungle.
and the mummies.
He's had it rough.
Yeah,
he's had it rough.
Yeah, he's had a lot of shit happen to him over the last few years.
So the fact that he's still, doing his thing, good for him.
He fucked up his back doing stunts for the Mummy films. His wife cleaned him out of divorce money, and it just the dude's had it rough, man.
Well, I'm glad he's got this success. Is there a Blu-ray out for it?
Yeah, go buy it, Jess. Watch it with the family. You'll love it, dude.
I'll watch it by myself.
Watch it with the family. Patty's gonna be like, "What kind of weird shit are you into?"
Oh, she already got that when she read for the part of Harley Quinn in Batman Damned. She was like, "I can't read this. I don't understand."
She read for. Were you casting people?
Yeah, we're doing the radio play.
Was there a couch?
Was there a couch cast that you did with your wife? Let's see how good you are. No, sorry.
I don't think this one counts as weird shit that you're into. That's weird shit that is in proximity to what you're into.
True.
Oh man.
Did everybody go?
Everybody went? Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
No, I didn't go yet. Does the Mandalorian count?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with.
Was it a comic book? It wasn't a comic book though. But you know what? Fuck it. Go ahead. It's so good. Go ahead.
I don't think you're going to start making rules now in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Riverdale. Riverdale season 3.
Is that the final Luke Perry season?
Yes. Shout outs to the loss of great American legend Luke Perry in this season. So this final season, I think he goes into 4 real quick too. I'm not sure. I forget exactly when he passes. But season 3 of Riverdale. Jess, you need to catch up. You were watching it with me for a little bit, but season 3, it really cranks it up a notch where poor Archie is in a juvenile detention and gets caught up in a prison fight club in order to keep his friends alive and to keep himself alive and his friends in jail alive. You get awesome, super hot Veronica stepping out of her parents' shadow and taking on her own endeavors. I don't want to get too much into it. She opens up a nightclub. Just a lot of great stuff. Riverdale is completely underloved and underappreciated. Go ahead and check out Riverdale. I'm serious. It's a great season that came out this year.
Great choice. I see a lot of people batting for The Boys. I think most of us here. It is. It's great. Any other season, any other year that Watchmen wasn't a thing, I think The Boys would have won. But
way to come in at Oscar time to steal everybody's thunder too.
I mean, Boys season 2 is next year, so if it's as good, then I'm pretty sure next year it'll just be a slam dunk.
The thing with The Boys for me is it took about 4 or 5 episodes for it to grab me.
Sure, it takes a while.
So. That's the only thing that why it wasn't forefront in my mind. But Riverdale from the beginning.
I'd like to give honorable mention to the fantastic Harley Quinn animated series.
Yeah, my man.
That Gio and I
good job
watch all the time, and it can be watched multiple times. I think there's on to episode 4. This is Harley Quinn, like Harley Quinn was meant to be. Great voice acting, hilarious comedy. Poison Ivy steals the show. I think she's Lake Bell, right? She has the best lines. You got JB Smoove as the cactus. I mean, the man-eating plant in Poison Ivy's apartment. He's hilarious.
Wait, is this based off the Jimmy Palmiotti stuff?
I don't know what it's based off of. It's full of F-bombs and everything else. It's definitely R-rated, Harley Quinn. And those actors are having a blast, you can tell, because it is just so much fun to watch. And I just think it is, if it wasn't for Watchmen, that would have been my first pick.
Hell yeah. The last episode 4, it's probably my favorite. That was so great.
I still need to watch that. It's right on my computer, and I need to watch.
Is she in a relationship with Catwoman or Poison Ivy in this show?
No, she breaks up with Joker. Well, not yet.
She breaks up with Joker and is currently living with Ivy, and they're forming a new friendship, if you will.
Does she have her pet wiener dog?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right.
Good question, though. Give it one.
Okay, so let's kind of favorite comic movie. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. My choice is Joker. Absolutely love Joker. It was everything that the trailers said it was going to be. And going into it, there was a lot of speculation. There was like, wow, can it be really as good as the trailer? Everybody's saying, well, it's just kind of a Martin Scorsese film. And yeah, it pretty much was a Martin Scorsese film. But
it was
for
still
me,
fun.
It was great. I loved Joker from beginning to end. Seeing Joaquin Phoenix, who is easily one of the best actors working today, basically becoming the Joker, and not just the transformation character-wise, but physically, how he lost all the weight and he's just rail thin, and just there are some scenes in there where he's just fucking scary as hell. And it's fantastic. I adored this film. It's in my top 5 for the year overall. Really, it's Gabe and I did an hour-long spoiler podcast where we talked about it. We literally went through the whole film, pretty much scene by scene, and we talked about it for a good 2 hours. I really can't praise it enough, honestly. It's fantastic. It really is.
I agree with you. It's my favorite too. I really liked it. I mean, we had excellent movies this year, but there's a rawness to the story and the reality of it. You know, it's sort of like this 80s version of Gotham, and it's so chaotic. And at one point when you see that transformation, I literally got goosebumps because I stopped seeing the actor and I saw like a real threatening version of Joker. I really enjoyed that movie.
No, and the thing that I loved about it is everybody going into it was like, well, we don't really want to know what Joker's origin is. And it's left ambiguous enough where you don't really know if it's his origin or not, because he's an unreliable narrator. And there's stuff in there where it's like they throw enough stuff in there where you go, well, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, or maybe this whole thing really wasn't happening. So that's my choice.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Endgame. I don't think it disappointed. Like to make a movie like that, firing on all cylinders, and very little things that would have changed, but that vision that came together, 10 years in the making, or I guess 11 years, and to have that moment of Cap, well, we could talk about our favorite moments, but it was perfect just about. I mean, yeah, sure, I could bitch about the Hulk not being in a fight, or things like that, but they were just very minor complaints that I had. It didn't get better than Endgame. But I think the Oscar may go to Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, because he was phenomenal in that. I didn't really like the movie that much, but I really liked him. He was amazing. Like, he made a believable character. So
I'm going to agree with Omar. My favorite movie was Endgame. I didn't see Joker yet. I'm going to, but Endgame was the culmination of a remarkable run that started with Iron Man, and if you'd asked me, could you get all those superheroes in on one screen, I would have said there's no way possible. And there were moments in that where I got chills and the hairs on my arms stood up, and I was emotional. I cried at it. I was cheering at it. It hit all the right notes for me. It was the perfect superhero movie for me because it got me so engaged and caring so much about every single character, and just the remarkable technical feat of getting all those superheroes in there. And not just for eye candy, but they were all fighting, and they all had a point and a purpose. And the movie was mapped out perfectly. I loved Endgame, and I can't wait to watch it on Disney Plus like 19 times.
It's a great movie. Like, and it was hard because I liked Infinity War more, because Infinity War was like everything I was hoping for as a kid. When I was a kid reading comic books, I'm like, because I didn't think it was possible to do live action movies, because we didn't have computer generated characters back then. We didn't have all these things. We had practical effects, and I was like, there's no way in hell we could ever have anything like this unless it's animated.
Yeah.
So when Infinity War came out and they're having that battle, in New York, I was like, holy shit, this is like the stuff I dreamt about when I was a kid.
Right.
I did. So, I mean, yeah, Endgame was, it was great.
Yeah.
And it was so good to me that I'm like, I don't know what the hell to look forward to anymore after, like, with Marvel, right? Like, Eternals. Yeah. But, like, I really don't know what.
You say that now, but later you're going to be like, oh, Eternals.
Oh, I said the same thing about Black Widow. I'm like, you don't need a fucking Black Widow movie. I saw the trailer. Oh, God damn it. I'm ready. Let's do it. throw Red Guardian in there, motherfuckers. I'm ready.
No, I Endgame was amazing. It's an amazing film. I like Infinity War a little more though. Just a bit more, just a smidge more. I think for me the pacing in Infinity War was just a little bit better. It moves a bit quicker for me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Honorable mention for me goes to Shazam, which I liked.
It's a good one.
A hell of a lot. It was more than I could have ever hoped for, and that's something I can watch with my wife and daughter. And unlike the Harley Quinn cartoon, which I can't watch with my wife and daughter, but Shazam was just a solid, fun, really, really good movie that I didn't expect at all to be anything, and it really fun.
Yeah, I think the downside of Shazam was that it was released so early on in the year, most people forgot about it by this point, and it's a shame because it's so much fun.
It was a little wonky with some of the CGI. The two actors didn't match. The two characters basically playing Shazam didn't match.
But you needed something like that, right? You needed somebody.
Well, I was gonna say they cleaned a lot of the CGI up for the home release.
Oh, and I was just gonna say you needed a bad guy that was one-dimensional to make this really goofy character shine. If you had somebody like Black Adam right off the bat, I don't think it would have been as good.
No, what I mean was the kid playing Billy Batson and Zachary Levi, right? Mm-hmm. They weren't the same character. They weren't the same person. They're completely different. Like the characters were just different personalities. The boy Billy Batson is more of a street kid and a little bit more serious, and then Zachary Levi comes in and is just completely off the rails and crazy, which is fun and great, but just they didn't seem to be like the same person. It didn't seem like an older version of Billy Batson. That was my main complaint about the movie.
Okay, what movie did you like?
New Mutants.
Liar.
Gabe from the future.
Yeah, New Mutants for that was not released this year. No, I'm kidding. Ball Steers, no, I mean the Snyder cut. Nice. Also joking. Joker, 100% Joker. It was a movie that when they first announced it, we already had like Jared Leto as Joker, and then they announced that they were going to have a second version of the Joker played by Joaquin Phoenix. And right away, it was just like, that's stupid. Why do we got two different versions? This is going to be so confusing. How is this going to match up to the rest of the film franchises? This and this and that. Everything else is just really, at first, negatively portrayed. Then the trailer came out, and it's like, holy crap. this is great. Or even some of the leaked footage before the trailer came out with the subway scene. You're like, okay, this is starting to look serious. This is starting to look good. The trailer comes out. You're like, okay, this is going to be awesome, but it's a trailer. And then the movie comes out, and it is just not what we expected. We don't deserve a movie like The Joker to be called like a superhero film, because it was legitimately a movie. I like the after effects of it. I like how divisive it is, because it sparks conversation and it sparks ideas and idealism, which you don't really get a lot with things. A lot of superhero films, that are just kind of written off as popcorn and fluff. But Joker is actually something that people can sit down and kind of unpack and continue to unpack. I think you can forever try to unpack that movie and never really get all of it. So I'm gonna go with the Joker, 100%. I'm there with Ryley, or I'm there with Luis.
I do like what Joker and Shazam set up for the DC universe. I think they're done trying to copy and paste Marvel's mapping of things, and what they're doing is like these own little pocket universes of movies, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Like the Joker is not in the Batman universe, and Shazam probably not in the Justice League universe,
as he shouldn't be.
Well, they did that with the Superman appearance.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm. They made it ambiguous as possible.
Yeah. Ryley.
Maybe this isn't my pick, but maybe the Snyder universe of DC movies are actually film adaptations of the actual superheroes in the universe that Joker and Shazam are in. And they also don't have the Snyder cut. But my pick, hands down, there was a lot of really good, really enjoyable superhero and geek movies this year. A lot of stuff that I was excited to watch, a lot of stuff that makes it on my top 10 most okayest movies of the year list. But hands down, the number one for me was Endgame. I think that it was just such a solid series of moments that were so pleasing for me as someone, as all of us have been following these movies since Iron Man 1 came out, and we're watching the impossible be done of a 20+ movie franchise getting tied up in this film and being done so in a way that's almost universally satisfactory, which is something that we witnessed with Star Wars was not universally satisfactory for people. Star Wars, Episode 9 is extremely divisive, and a lot of people, that makes it even more disappointing when you're sitting there thinking about a major franchise like that, and you get the final piece, the quote unquote final piece of the puzzle, and you're sitting there like, oh, this is it, this is the end. But Endgame did something that I think that's the true success with that movie, and that it wraps everything up in a way that most fans are like, okay, like Omar said, like, is there really much to look forward to after this? Because it's so gratifying of a film. Like, it did everything that they needed to do. They could literally have just at that point been like, okay, Marvel Cinematic Universe is done. That's it. We're no longer doing any movies. And I think that like a lot of people would be like, okay, like you just kind of go with it. But we do have a bunch of stuff happening coming forward. And even then, like the stuff that we're having following Endgame, it seems more like a coda on the end of stuff rather than starting something new. So I'm still sitting here in anticipation of like, what's the big thing that's going to come next? They want to keep this massive franchise going rather than, if we're just seeing things that are kind of similar to how Spider-Man Far From Home was kind of just putting that postscript at the end of it all. And it seems like that's what all the TV shows are kind of doing. And it seems like that's what even Black Widow kind of is doing, unless they, give us a giant surprise. And so far, the only thing that seems like it's really going to be a true follow-up might be Eternals. And that might be what spins off into more stuff. But it's just, like I said, it's my number one pick because of how satisfying of a conclusion it was and how impossible it seemed to make a satisfying conclusion for 22 movies at that point.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
No, and you bring up a great point, man.
They deserve high praise for landing, for sticking that landing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then they peaked. Like, where do you go from here? That's gonna be their challenge.
And not just that, but then even just the follow up to it all is they
underwater.
Next is gonna be space, but not.
All right, James Cameron.
That
I was thinking of Aquaman.
Everything coming up next, like for this whole year, there's really no Marvel movies coming out besides Black Widow. It's all Disney Plus like TV shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool endeavor and risk to kind of just take the money away that they could be making. They put these like WandaVision and Winter Soldier, Falcon out of the theater and into the homes instead. They could have made so much money putting this in the theaters. These movies are all make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, but instead they're doing it for Disney Plus.
But it also,
I think, help build up into the next generation of films.
This also drives, like how well done this was as a finale, also drives the creators who are going to be involved in these future films to push themselves that much more, knowing like, okay, this happened and it was great and people are satisfied. Now we have to figure out what we can do to make it, do something that people are going to say, okay, I'm glad that this came out. This is worth seeing. That's what they need to be looking for is making movies and shows that the audience is not going to be looking at and saying, there was no point. There's no point in them having gone further than this film. That's not what you want. So I think that given the caliber of creators and talent that they bring in for these films, that they're going to have a lot of opportunity with people who will have that mindset of what can I do to make this worth seeing for my audience.
Right. I think the next few years are going to be really interesting for Marvel because they've used up, for lack of a better term, all their heavy hitters. Like a lot of their heavy hitters are done, and the actors have moved on. Whereas DC is now just really hitting its stride. This next year is going to be interesting because we're going to get Wonder Woman, and that's a guaranteed. That's going to hit really strong. And then the following year we get Aquaman and Batman. And Aquaman is 2021, right, Gio?
2022.
2022. Okay. Well, the following year we get Batman after that, and we get
Suicide Squad.
We get Suicide Squad, which has James Gunn on it. And
interesting.
Well, I didn't like Suicide Squad, but that movie made a shit ton of money. And if you stick James,
it won
Gunn,
an Oscar.
Yeah, won an Oscar.
We have to say Oscar winner.
We have to
Suicide
say
Squad.
And if you stick James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, makes Suicide Squad, and you market that right, it's gonna make a lot of money. So it's gonna be interesting. Moving on, favorite comic movie moment of the year. Easy for me, on your left, and that whole big moment where everybody comes out.
Yeah.
To ride on that, I'm gonna go ahead and say Avengers Assemble. Since day one, I have been wanting to hear that since Iron Man 1's post-credit ending with Samuel L. Jackson talking about the Avengers Initiative. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get to hear the words Avengers Assemble one day on the big screen. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking insta hard on like the entire time, and it happened. I stood up and yelled.
With a hard on?
May or may not have had a hard on. I don't remember. I don't.
Poor guy in front of you got tapped in the back of the head.
Hey, it was opening night. He knew. He's like, I got you, man. Me too.
Did y'all touch tips?
Yes, we kissed penises.
Did you roll your foreskin over
your
penis?
No, we're not gonna talk about this. Avengers Assemble.
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Jazz. What's next? Jazz.
It's hard to follow that up. Mine was the funeral scene for Iron Man in Endgame.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry if you didn't know. I know it got spoiled for me when I put on the Omnibus group. Do not spoil any Endgame scene. This is your warning. And in the comments, boom, somebody spoiled it for me.
You were pissed.
You know how hard it was for me to make a separate account just to spoil that for you?
So pissed off. But that funeral scene, with everybody on the kind of little hill right there, and you're picking out who's who, and oh, it's that kid from Iron Man 3, and you're picking out all these other things. And it was very moving, and I thought it was remarkable. That's when I saw all the people sort of on that rise, all the very different kind of callback people and everything, I did tear up, and I thought it was brilliantly staged.
That kid from Iron Man 3, I was so distracted trying to figure out who that kid was. I kind of lost the rest of what was going on in that scene. I was like, who's that kid? Who's that guy?
I knew because that's been the ongoing joke between my
Thank you, Nashvilleans. Multiply it times the 5 of us.
There's a group for that, by the way. It's like an anonymous group. Anyway,
Support group.
I knew about that because of the ongoing joke between Amanda and I since Iron Man 3 has been like, when is this kid? Because she knows about all these actors and actresses that I don't give a shit about. And she told me that he had a 5-movie deal. The guy's going to be in other movies. He's going to blow up. And I'm like, nobody fucking cares about Iron Man 3, kid. And then when he was in the movie, I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, boy.
I'm getting ready to call somebody out in the chat unless they lighten up, because you're bringing nothing to the chat.
Yeah,
and endlessly negative, and you're pissing me off. So
don't want to do that with Jess.
Fuck out. Nothing is positive coming from your mouth, and if you don't like what we're talking about, GTFO.
If you know how I was talking about Insta hard on when I heard Avengers Assemble, Jess gets an Insta hard on by banning people, so don't do this.
Don't
do
incur
this.
his wrath, please.
Don't do that, because I'm sitting below him and I don't need any of that this morning. What the fuck was that? All right, go ahead. Who hasn't gone? Sorry.
Has everybody gone?
Gabe,
Gio hasn't,
no.
and Ryley hasn't, I don't think.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have a. I said I picked Endgame, but like the actual choreography of the fight, of the final fight, is what I really liked. I can watch that all day because it was really awesome, especially Thor's epic beard at the end with the 2 hammers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used that fight scene to like figure out the my new TV. When I got my new TV, I was figuring out what settings I like best. I put on that fight scene.
Nice.
I'm going to go with the after scenes credit for Spider-Man Far From Home, where his identity gets revealed.
That was
Spoilers.
choice.
yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Mhm.
That just changed. The kind of like what Ryley was saying before, where after Endgame, you want movies to come after. We didn't, we needed this. This is propelling things forward. And with that, when J. Jonah Jameson or Mysterio reveals Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man, it was just like, where did this come from? This was like the final last shot fired over the bow of the boat and just destroys everything. And you go, I want to see what happens next. I want to be here with what's going on. And then we kind of had that fake outcry. I'm gonna pretend to say it was a fake outcry of Spider-Man being taken away from Marvel and Sony, holding it on tighter. We knew that wasn't going to happen, but that after the reveal and us possibly not getting more Spider-Man in the MCU was really, really kind of traumatic for a little bit for people. I know that, but that reveal is propelling the next kind of generation of Marvel superhero films, and that was just out of nowhere. The film was over. I was satisfied. I was more than happy with Far From Home. I was ready to go home and be like, okay. And then that comes, and you go, "What? You just dropped this on me at the last second." So,
plus, we got J.K. Simmons back. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
What an awesome cameo, man! What an awesome cameo.
I think everybody universally was cool. Everybody was cool with like, yeah, you could bring J.K. Simmons back. We don't have a problem with that.
He's better than okay.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
My scene, my top moment for films was the Wonder Woman 84 trailer getting dropped. As much as I enjoyed actual content from all the movies, they used one of my favorite songs, like an orchestrated version of Blue Monday in that trailer that just fucking blew me away. I must have watched it about 10 times at this point, even found that orchestrated version of the song and was jamming to it in the car with my wife. I loved it. I think that it looks fantastic. I think all of the and I'm only speaking specifically about the trailer, but the choreography that they put in the trailer along with that song just does so well. And my wife was like, how the fuck can DC have like this good of a trailer, and then they also put out shitty ass movies? Like, whoever is in charge of this trailer right here just needs to do everything. Those are her words. So that was the biggest thing for me, was just that trailer getting dropped, and getting Pedro Pascal as Max Lord. It's pretty fantastic. I sent a picture to my brother-in-law, and I was like, so that's why the Mando doesn't take his helmet off. So he looks like this.
He was awesome in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. And even if that movie does not live up to my own expectations, I still have the trailer.
I think it will live up to your expectations.
I hope it does.
I'm extremely optimistic about it.
I agree.
It looks so good. Okay, let's kind of just move back into the comic stuff. All right, Jess, this is your break. You could go to the bathroom, make yourself a sandwich, go walk your dog.
Bye.
Okay, favorite manga of the year. I'm gonna go with this should come as no surprise. I'm just gonna say it because I've already talked about it. My Hero Academia, again, continues to just impress. And yeah, there's nothing much else that I need to say that I haven't already said. And runner-up will be Demon Slayer. Anybody else?
Berserk. We got Berserk 40 this year, and the deluxe editions are the most wonderful things that have happened to Berserk since Volume 13, which I can't talk about because Gabe hasn't read it.
Won't talk about it. Yeah.
Volume 40, though, so good.
I cried. My wife cried. We cried together.
So
holding hands.
good.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, we made a video, and I was like, I'm not gonna say what happens, but I said I have been waiting for this moment since 1990 goddamn 8 when I first saw the anime, and I played the stupid Dreamcast game because I was the only thing. Because a lot of people didn't realize it wasn't just you couldn't just go and read manga, right? Like you watched an anime, got canceled. You're like, well, shit, it's only available in Japanese. What do I do? I guess I better sit here and try to find another source of information in a different media. And that was the Dreamcast game that came out in 99 or something like that. I played that. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on? Who are all these characters? What happened to this character? Why is this character acting so stupid? What's happening? And damn, man. And then to have the manga drop in 2003, I've been waiting for that moment. Yeah, for over 2 decades. It's crazy. Berserk, all the way.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not old like you and had to wait like 20
motherfucker
21 years just to get this volume.
Was it really 21 years between the release of that volume?
No.
Well,
The ending of the anime first season and and where this volume takes you.
Yeah.
It's goddamn. It was a long time coming, and the payoff was great, you know.
Very satisfied.
Are we still on this topic?
Yeah.
We've only gone with one person, or no, two of us so far. So.
Yeah. What?
Right.
You agreed. You said Berserk. What was yours, Ryley? You have a lot, I'm sure.
Mine, me and Gio actually have the same pick. If Gio's still using what he said, and that's Beastars. Beastars. I was excited to read it when it was coming out because conceptually it looked cool. A lot of people talked about it. And the artwork looks really great. And when I read it, it just blew my expectations out of the water. Especially Volume 1 was great, but Volume 2, Volume 3, like going forward into this universe has just blown me away. I have absolutely loved Beastars. And at first, I know it has that look of like, and it's not wrong. People are like, oh, it's just anime Zootopia. And yeah, but once you get past that initial like introduction and exposition of this world, it goes completely different places. And it's also something where it's a series where you know why they decided to tell this story with animals. There are things that happen in here and the interactions with different characters that, while it is supposed to be a parallel between using different types of animals and stuff against like, you know, race issues and stuff like that. But there are certain things that you cannot do with humans that they do with these animals here. Certain things as far as the way that, you know, the animalistic nature of, you know, the carnivores and stuff, that it would not work in any way that I could see in using a human character, at least not nearly the same. So that's just part of, I think, the genius for it. And I know Gio's been watching the anime, and the anime's gone a little bit further than what we've got in the manga so far. So I don't know as much of the story as what he knows, but suffice to say, it was fan-freaking-tastic. I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. The artwork is amazing, unlike any manga. It looks more like a Euro comic artwork, if anything. It's just so good. My runner-up, like the only other thing that I was going to say aside from this was Dorohedoro, but only thing was, I don't think it wrapped up in Japan this year. It wrapped up in Japan previously. It's just that it wrapped up in the US this year. Dorohedoro is absolutely one of the best mangas I've read in a long time. Definitely worth it. 23 volumes. The last volume came out early this year, I think. All right, next.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Beastars is awesome. One of my favorite reads overall of 2019, and it's just fantastic. We've talked at length about it. I love it. I cannot recommend it enough. Sorry,
so
Tess.
Good.
Hey, don't apologize to me.
I mean, Jess could actually like this one because
I know. It's something I really think it's something you would like.
Freddie Alonso, I do have a Reptar shirt, and so does Gabe. Thank you for breaking up the monotony of this part of the show.
We shared the shirt. I wear it for a couple of months, then I mail it back to Jess, and he wears it for a couple of months, and he
Right.
It's a secret club.
Gabe, did you have a pick? I know you said that not all your stuff was just reading older manga, yeah?
Right, it's all older manga stuff I was reading, but I will agree with you guys, and I'm just going to double up the sentiment that Berserk Deluxe editions are beautiful. Those things are fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, man.
So I don't have them, but I've sold a lot of them. So and I flipped through them, and I've held them, and I've gone through them before. They're great. I probably might end up picking them up after Jess, buys all 4 of them at once, coming up pretty soon, and then we'll get into that about it. But yeah, definitely for this year, it's gonna be the Berserk Deluxe edition, and then next year it'll probably be Hellsing.
Sweet. All right, let's get into the main core categories. We've only got a handful left. We're almost done. Let's do best artist. I'm gonna go with, for me, Ryan Stegman. Ryan Stegman's work on Venom has just been badass. I loved all the stuff that he's been doing on there. The Carnage event that happened this past summer was incredible. It was everything that I hoped for. It was so much fun, and Stegman just crushed every single panel inside that book, and I just couldn't ask for a better pair than Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman writing Venom. They're doing the best work that they've ever done on that book.
I agree. 100%. That's my pick too. I'm not going to get more into it than you did. You said it all. Yeah, Ryan Stegman's killing it. I remember when he was, before he was even doing like Superior Spider-Man, he was just doing random Deadpool core issues and things like that. Now to see him actually come into like the limelight with something as awesome as Venom and Absolute Carnage, he deserves it 100%. Other than that, it'd have to be Joe Matt for that Hoxpox cover that he did.
He drew one thing this year.
Greatest thing that's ever been committed to paper this year.
I'm gonna go with Jorge Jimenez.
Awesome pick.
That guy has been blowing. And I always, much like Ryan Stegman, I always love telling early on, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be huge. Somebody's going to pull this guy to go do a big book. And yeah, sure, Jorge Jimenez now drawing Justice League. And eventually, I think he's going to do Batman?
Batman, yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. What about you guys? By the way, I'm eating and I'm listening to you also. That's why, because we have to get going soon.
I'll do my pick real quick. I'm going to botch his name, but I love his art in Tom King's Batman. One of us knows how to pronounce it, but I don't. Mikel Janin.
I know how to do it. It's Mikel Janin.
That sounds vaguely triple X rated, but I meant he just draws so clean and so beautiful in Tom King's Batman that he is my fave artist. He is just hits it out of the park all the time, and I should Google how to say his name because he's brilliant.
Ryley.
I'm going to go with yeah.
Go ahead, Gio.
No, that's okay.
No, man, go ahead.
You already started. Go for it.
I'll go real quick. I was going to pick Jimenez, but then I remembered that I have a huge admiration for Robson Rocha's art on Aquaman. I thought he really brought in the style of what's been done before, reminded being raised, but a little bit more grander in scale. I really like Rocha's art, and it's severely underrated, in my opinion.
Good choice.
Really thought you were going to go with, what's his name? Stepan Sejak.
He's great.
I
I
can't
just say
remember how to say
Cedric.
it.
It's either.
Cedric, yeah, that guy's start. That stuff is awesome.
Mine is Trad Moore for the Silver Surfer Black miniseries by Donny Cates. I think his work is just incredible. He's got a very distinctive tone behind his work, and it matched so perfectly for what Cates was doing with the Silver Surfer and the whole cosmic storyline there. And not only just the artwork, but that story was fantastic, and how Donny Cates is just weaving together his ongoing Marvel tale throughout multiple different series. I think Marvel knows how good the artwork in that series was because they blew it up into the larger than absolute size. I'm looking at it at the top of my shelf, and it's bigger than an absolute edition.
Bigger than my head.
Yeah. It's great. It's a fantastic story, amazing artwork. I love the colors, the pencils, the inks, everything about it is fantastic. And I think that Trad Moore is an artist that I've been following for most of his career, if I'm being honest, or if I'm remembering correctly. And I've loved seeing him get higher profile work and also evolving as an artist. And I think that this is far and beyond the best of what he's done so far, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
Jess?
Nice.
I already said.
Oh.
Mhm.
Mikhail Mean.
Is that everybody?
I think so.
Okay.
Did Omar go?
No.
I said Jorge Jimenez.
Okay, right.
Did Gabe pick?
Yeah, I said Joe Mad.
I said Joe Mad. One issue this year. One cover.
No, I just piggybacked on Luis's Ryan Stegman.
All right.
Because I also got to hang out with him this year too. So
Next one is Best Writer. Just to kind of move things along. Best Writer. I'm gonna give it to Donny Cates. For me, continues to be the go-to guy at Marvel. Whatever he's got the golden touch right now. Whatever he touches pretty much turns to gold. Venom, Silver Surfer Black, Guardians of the Galaxy. The list just goes fucking on with the guy. It's been a long time since I've seen a writer come out with that kind of output. And every single one where he steps up to bat, he is knocking it out. And it's really impressive. Venom, he had the event. Huh?
Good choice.
Yeah, Venom, he had the event this year. He's tying the interesting thing is he's tying in pretty much all of his Marvel stuff into one thing, and it's really cool seeing all the threads that he's pulling together across all these different books that you think would not tie in, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Going into Thor too.
Which he's
going to be right next week or this week.
Yeah, and I can't say anything else. I mean, just a Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm jealous. I really am jealous of the guy.
I'm going to go with Chip Zdarsky. I really like his Daredevil run, and Life Story was phenomenal. It's a great writer. He hasn't, at least for me, and it's weird because he's such a funny guy, like his online presence He's like a comedian almost, but
Mhm.
his writing is so different. Oh, he's solid. Calling it, man. Chip Zdarsky. He's gonna be 2020 writer. He'll be what Donny Cates was to Marvel these last couple years.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with Jeff Lemire. Everything he writes, I love. And he wrote a lot of stuff this year. A lot. And
Mhm.
I mean, just Gideon Falls and all the Black Hammer stuff. And I'm not even naming, I mean, I'm missing some things, but he everything he writes, I love. There's not one book he's ever written that I didn't like, but this year in particular, his name is all over the place and on all quality comics.
I like
Smart
that
comics.
you and I, you and I agree on this, and he is one of our top writers of all time, but one of our worst artists of all time.
Not a fan of his art, but I
Not
love
a fan of his art at all.
Who wants to go next?
What are we doing? Writer, my writer. This one was actually one of my harder ones. So it's almost like a three-way tie for me with Cates, Hickman, and also Al Ewing. I think that all three of them are doing great things, both at Marvel and other places, because he wrapped up East of West. He's got other series coming at Image and stuff like that. But they're doing what I love in that they're not they're letting their ideas flow between multiple series, like Luis mentioned already with Cates and all of his material. Hickman's been doing it for years, where he'll string along his story in multiple different series, and he's doing it again with the X-Men in House of X, Powers of X, and then in X-Men and New Mutants and all that stuff. And Al Ewing has been doing this, but a lot quieter, because his name has not been in the spotlight as much until Immortal Hulk. But his material with all of his Avengers titles, the Ultimates, and all of that, a lot of that stuff strings together into one large storyline. And finally, Marvel is giving him the reins to bigger stories and events coming in, this coming year. And I know everyone's tired of events and stuff, but I'm excited to see what Al Ewing's going to do when he's the one in charge of doing these events. And whether it's good or not, I'm just excited that his name gets to be put on the spotlight there.
Yeah, he's the other go-to guy right now, and he's been quietly working his way up over the last few years, and now it seems like he's really hit his stride. And I couldn't be happier for the guy. He deserves it. He's been working his ass off.
He has been great. Like, I remember Ultimates, and then he did that run with, what was it, US Avengers?
Yeah.
Is that what he did?
Mm-hmm.
He's done some good stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, what's next, man? Or is that everybody? Gio?
Yeah,
Did you?
No, wait. Am I?
Gabe.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just gonna go with Donny Cates as well. Same thing as Luis said. Everything for me for best writer. Hickman did a phenomenal job with X-Men, but that was like the last 2 months of the year, more or less, or it was just a 2-month event where that came through. But throughout the entire year, it's been nothing but Donny Cates, Al Ewing, and I think when it comes down to it, everything that Donny Cates has done has been knocking it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what he's going to get into next year with Thor. I can't see what's going on. I can't wait to see what's going on with James Tynion on Batman. So next year is going to be a phenomenal year. But this year, it's in the bag. 100% goes to Donny Cates for Absolute Carnage, for Venom. Cosmic Ghost Rider, which I thought I would hate, but it's actually really great. Baby Teeth. Just so much he's done this year, and everything has been a home run for him. So 2019 is Donny Cates' year.
Gio?
I really enjoyed the Black Hammer universe early this year when I started reading it. Plus Sentient at TKO, and he just puts out consistent work. I've read a little of Gideon Falls, and I really love it as well. So I went with him.
Great.
Can I answer a question? Jess, can you highlight Kara's question?
Yeah, just Kara Casanova.
Mm-hmm. That is, if you live in Kentucky, the correct pronunciation of that word is Louisville. If you're from outside of Kentucky, it is Louisville. But we also have a Versailles, Kentucky, and anywhere else outside of the United States, that is Versailles. So keep that in mind. We don't know how to pronounce shit here.
Huh.
Thank you, Jeff.
And we're down to the last three. All right, so this one's probably Jess's favorite. This is the Golden Kirkman Award. The Golden Kirkman Award goes to the book that we think is the worst book that has come out this year, that we've read this year, that we had the mispleasure of reading this year, and that just overall disappointed us 100% this year. And I think a lot of us are in agreement that it's probably going to go to Batman Damned. There was almost nothing redeemable about that book. The art was okay. The story was all over the place. Didn't make much sense. And
I'm going to go with Heroes in Crisis for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
just,
definitely hated that.
I hated that book. I love the artwork, but that's... Right?
Mine
Gabe?
was Doomsday Clock, which was further emphasized in how bad it was by the fact that we had such a good Watchmen follow-up in the HBO series.
Mhm.
And then it just having both Doomsday Clock wrap up after 2 years and the Watchmen series on HBO wrap up after 8 weeks or whatever, having both at the same time, oh my god, like it just made me appreciate the HBO series even more and look at the Doomsday Clock comic with just even more aggressive anger at like, why did this happen? Why did this have to happen? I will say though that at the very, very end of Doomsday Clock, there's one small thing that I was happy that they showed, but it wasn't worth 12 issues and 2 years of material over. That said, I have to start going, so I'm gonna give you guys my last two real quick, if you don't mind.
I do too, so why don't you go ahead first?
Okay. My best comic overall for 2019, I chose Immortal Hulk. I chose this as best when I know that I chose Hickman's X books as best.
hello?
But are we okay?
Superhero. Every month I look forward to the most. And it's also one where he wrapped up such a huge storyline this year, but he's starting in something new, and it just looks he's just doing something fantastic, and it's something that I'm constantly excited for. So that's why I do choose that as my number one. And then for my best collected edition, Berserk, the deluxe edition, we got the first 3 out this year, and they are just phenomenal looking books. I know most people have already seen them. Gabe has mentioned it. Omar's mentioned it. They're just great books. I absolutely love those, and I cannot wait for Dark Horse to put out the similar Hellsing volumes starting next year.
Okay.
I'm gonna peace out, guys.
All right.
And for me,
Later.
I got to get going too. My favorite comic was Transformers Phase 3.
Now,
It was wonderful.
let me ask you a question. What's the difference between comic and collected edition? Is it
Comic comes out every month.
Okay,
They're single
plot
issues.
Okay, the
You
plot.
you have them in slabs.
Right.
That's I think you know.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure and double check.
So Transformers for sure. And then my favorite collected edition out of this year was Conan the Barbarian. The Marvel years, because it opened up that door to holy shit, they're not stopping. We have a volume 4 solicited next year. They're not, 2020. So as long as they keep selling, we may one day own all of Conan the Marvel years and Savage Sword and probably King Conan one day in omnibus format in this giant shelf Billy just dedicated to it, because there's that many. I mean, there's going to be like 10 or 11 volumes for each one, just about. So thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. Sorry, I got to get going too. We're driving out of town. So
Bye, man.
God bless you all.
On.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Take it easy, man.
Bye, guys.
Who hasn't gone yet? So we can kind of just start wrapping this up soon. We get
If it's monthly comic, I read 4 of them and liked them a lot, but we're
on worst stuff, Jess. We're on worst
stuff.
stuff.
What?
We're on worst stuff.
We're on worst stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Batman Damned. We've gone over it a million times. Batman Damned. We don't need to say anything else. It was worst. The worst.
Gio? Oh no, Geo froze. Gabe?
Gabe, we're not hearing you.
Because I'm muted. I can't see.
Oh.
The scrolling thing on the bottom covered up that I was muted. Doomsday Clock, 2 years and 1 month of just a wasted effort. I don't like to go. That's really harsh. I don't like to get too harsh on criticisms like that. But I'm gonna just kind of echo what Ryley was saying. We got apparently Watchmen, the TV show, is fantastic, and Watchmen trying to integrate that into the DCU was, landed with a kind of a weak thud.
What about you, Gio?
Gio?
Yeah, I
Gio
picked,
said
no.
Did you say Batman Damned?
No one left to fight from Dark Horse. I thought that was one of the weakest things I've read this year.
No one left to fight.
It's a manga about. It's not a manga. Sorry, it's defeated, and there's this ongoing mystery. I thought it was a poor man's excuse to imitate great fighting manga like Dragon Ball, etc., etc. And they even mention it in the description blurb, like if you're fans of Dragon Ball and other fighting manga, for fans of fighting manga, read those manga and let this. Don't read No One Left to Fight, because it was pretty awful. I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair.
All right, last two. Best comic. I'm gonna give it to Murder Falcon. There hasn't been a comic this year that has made me cry as much as Murder Falcon. It's comic perfection for me. It's a 6-issue. I think it's 6-issue miniseries from, if I remember right, Image Comics. Goes by really quick, and if you love metal and if you've struggled with a lot of different issues and acceptance, and just the ending of it was just that nice little cherry on top. I absolutely adored this book, and it's my favorite choice this year. I said it at the beginning of the year when we first read it that I don't think anything's going to top it, and sure enough, nothing topped it. From art to writing, it was just fantastic all the way through.
I am going to agree with you as far as single comic. I thought it was great. You said everything that I could possibly say. I loved Murder Falcon, and I thought it was brilliant.
Yep, I'm right there with you guys. I think we said at the moment we finished reading it, this was going to be a book of the year. It's great, especially if you're somebody that's ever had to deal with a traumatic event and dealing with the after effects of said traumatic event, and kind of, strapping your boots back on and getting back into normal life. Man, that's something that Murder Falcon did not advertise. You thought it was going to be just some crazy heavy metal related book with giant kaiju fighting each other, but there's so much real life stuff that you can relate to in that book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Shout out to Daniel Warren Johnson. Nobody said his name yet, but he's the writer artist of that book.
How about you, Gio?
The book lives and breathes because of his art. So I agree with that. My best comic book of the year, I went with Superman Smashes the Klan. I thought it was the comic that nobody saw coming, and it is relevant, and it is so awesome to see this reinterpretation of the radio plays being done in a, modern. I say modern because it's 2019, but it's still like in the 40s or whatever. And it's just a beautiful take on what makes Superman such a long-lasting icon that I cannot recommend it enough. Even if the story's not over, because we're still missing the final issue, which comes out in February, I still recommend it. It's fantastic. And the art by Gurihiru, or I think I said his name right, is just mind-blowingly adorable. I love it.
Okay. Why do I still have the Golden Kirkman up? Hide. Okay.
There we go. And the last category of today, this, I actually don't have a horse in this because I don't do physical collected editions, but the Golden Omni, the best collected edition. So, guys, go ahead.
I took it as an actual collected edition. I did Murder Falcon as the best overall comic of all time for this year, but the best collected physical format that we got this year, I'm giving it up to the Black Mirror Absolute.
Ooh, good.
Black
choice.
Mirror
Yeah,
Absolute.
good choice.
Great choice.
One of the best Batman stories to ever come out, written by Scott Snyder. This is when nobody knew who Scott Snyder was. This is what put him actually on the map for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You got Francavilla art shared along with Jock. You get two just beautiful, amazing, different, like completely different ends of the spectrum of art from Jock and Francavilla, but it works so well. You get it's a great absolute. It's thin. It's not super expensive. It's $100. It's one of the few books that I felt that came out this year that deserved to get an oversized treatment. So Black Mirror, that's the best one that came out this year.
I am going to go with The Savage Shores. This was the best collected edition I've read, and I will go into detail in my best of 2019 on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube. Thank you. But this tells the tale from the 1800s. A vampire gets banished for breaking the rules from England to a place like India. He thinks he's going to have his way there when he encounters much stronger, older mythological creatures. It deals with neo-colonialism and the effects that colonialism have on the native people in a raw and real way. The art is fantastic. And this book is my top choice, I believe, for the year, These Savage Shores.
Great choice. Gio, with the last choice of the day. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
On the last choice.
Dodahedro or
I
something.
didn't go with comic.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You can't hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say it real quick. Murder Falcon, it's awesome. It was released in 2019. Great book.
Yeah. I think collectively all of us would say Murder Falcon was that book this year, that it just caught us off guard and we all loved it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And these books that we've been talking about, you can probably get them for 50% off on the collected editions, or some of them at 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
2% will get you a loyalty discount. I'm talking about InStockTrades.com, where there is an Omnibros Live sale going on until Tuesday night. So new releases will get that extra 3%. This loyalty discount, this Omnibros discount does not stack. So it's just 3%, but it's from InStockTrades.com. And we thank them very much for including us in one of their fantastic sales. If you order $50 or more in a book, in an order in the United States, you get free shipping, fantastic customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
What's the Omnibros code?
The Omnibros code is year-end sale. I will post it again.
All right.
IST code is year-end sale.
There we go. And that concludes the 84th annual Omnis. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It was a fun day. Many categories, many winners, many losers, mainly the Golden Kirkman. And we wish you all a great... No, we have a show tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we have
see everybody tomorrow.
Night. All previews and readings.
Oh, well, never mind. Scratch the it. Well, we have a show tomorrow, and just play us out.
Play us out. What does that mean? I'll write it. No, I'm doing my Bill O'Reilly.
It's the final Sunday.
Final Sunday of the year. You can find me, Omnidog, on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. And in an hour, I'm going to be talking with Tyler Blunt live because he got me to read these books.
Oh my
So
God.
be sure to tune into that.
Oh, jeez.
L Denver, the code is good till through Tuesday.
Tuesday night, midnight.
Yep. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
We can geek them. Where can we find you?
You can find me on my channel at Weekend Geekdom. You can find me on my channel, Weekend Geekdom, talking about nerd stuff. Go there.
And Lou, where can we find you?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
Thank you to IST for their wonderful sponsorship and the code. Thank you to the chat, and thank you to our viewers. I appreciate all of you. We appreciate all our viewers. 2019 was a great year. We appreciate our viewers and chatters. And of course, peace and love, peace and love.